insisting he accept their lies as real. By insisting he was never to his people tied. By dictating exactly what he might feel. By permitting bawdy joy, but never pride. They believed a lion could be brought to heel. That a lion could from his courage be pride. That the lion himself would learn to kneel. That a lion would not care, even if his line died. That the lion himself would accept such a deal. In the end, it was only to themselves they had lied.
Hey.
Hi,
A
mate.
minute early. It looks like we're going. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Another interesting week in right-wing politics in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to add some of our fellow co-hosts onto the screen. So we've got the man from Ironbark and our friendly regular Enoch Bowden. G'day, guys.
Who I met in real life. So I know he's a real person now.
Yeah, he actually exists.
He actually exists. Yeah. Green Goblin just said John has to commence tonight with autism announcement, or what are we even doing here? I don't think it was the paracetamol that did it to me. I think it was the offshore nuclear testing in off the western coast of Tasmania in the early 1980s.
It was the resonant frequencies from wind farms or whatever the other...
Yeah, that too.
Oh man, what a weekend, huh? I mean, we should probably start with the Battle of the Packs, right?
Yeah, well, so I was at Backpack. That was the only one I really wanted to go to. You went into you were into CPAC for what, like enough time to set up the booth where you hold up the
I did like the Abe Simpson, like walked in and then just had to immediately spin back out. So, like, for people watching, I had a bit of a emergency family drama, so I had to fly back to back home. But so got the Citizen Go booth set up. Saw my phone blowing up and had to head out. But from what I heard, it sounded like Backpack was awesome, and CPAC was awesome. Surprise.
Yeah. Well, the Festival of the Packs began before Backpack at Chris Covery's what's it called? Australian Firebrand. Now, I was in transit, so I didn't get to watch any of it, but I think we can only assume it wasn't that controversial because we didn't hear anything about it. So I don't know if anyone in the stream, in the chat was there or had any gossip from it, jump in. But I spoke to Chris at Backpack and he seemed to think it went really well. But it was cool that there was so much going on, I thought.
Yeah, 100%.
But Backpack was fantastic. Really a masterclass in how you want to do a conference, because it only went for like 5 hours or 4 hours or something.
Yeah.
And nice big drinks breaks, which I was very thankful for. The Stephen McInerney spoke, Shavura spoke. I can't remember the name of the other guy. Lowe spoke. Frank Salter spoke one of his shortest speeches that I've ever seen him do. And yeah, it was just fantastic. And we sung the national anthem. There was poetry readings. There was music. It was a lot of fun, actually. It was certainly a more
sort of quick and dirty conferences is what I prefer, right? And you know, I used to help out with a libertarian conference, and it would go for 3 days, and it's just like fuck. By hour 4, I'm already checked out. So
yeah. I can't imagine doing CPAC again. I haven't been to CPAC since 2019, I think. And I have no intention of going back. And this one didn't, based on what I saw. I'm still not intent on going back.
Some people seem pleasantly surprised, but I was there for 17
Tomlinson was good. That was the only speech I watched in its entirety. Tomlinson was really good, and he was even better when he went on Drew Pavlov's show.
Okay. I haven't seen that yet. I've got to give it a watch.
Yeah, watch them both. He was probably as based as it got at CPAC. Everything else was pretty much as you'd expect. I don't think there were many surprises. Pauline Hanson was a monumental disappointment. She's taking all the $25 flags and $40 branch meetings money, and she's making a movie out of it.
Okay, right.
Why? I don't know. Like we're finally getting some momentum, starting to actually get somewhere politically. And Australia's right alternative party, and who's doing really well. I mean, she is on like 13% nationally. She's on 16% in New South Wales, which is huge. And instead of taking the money and doing something productive, she's making what I can only assume will be a 90-minute version of her 22-minute version cartoon that she's been wasting everyone's money on. So the only way it could be good is if they hired us to write it, I think. I think that could be fun.
Yeah, and then it would only be allowed to be viewed in like one cinema one time.
Yeah. I don't think it would make it into a cinema, but yeah, I was thinking
the darts would be don't make it movie length. That's insane in 2025. Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Although I don't know, I think the kids like. I mean, remember how excited they got for Oppenheimer? Like maybe that's what she's going for, like the Oppenheimer of political cartoons. I don't know. It's just
I get the whole idea of like we need to make content that connects with the youth, and it's like, okay, sure, I get it, but like we're at like season 5 now of the cartoon. I like them, like I watch them. I think they're funny. The dude who makes it's a good dude, but
yeah,
like,
I'm not super excited.
we're in pretty serious hat times now, where everyone needs to start serious hatting and actually fucking take the fight to people that want to destroy us.
Exactly. So that was disappointing. Everyone else was just exactly as you'd expect. Jacinta Price is just a walking flag at this point. And I mean, she got her fans fired up, but I don't think she really said anything of note. Unless anyone else saw something in it that I didn't. I read the transcript,
but I haven't looked at it or actually heard what she said. But who's CPAC for, right? It's for sort of more normie conservatives. So I guess within that lens, she probably smashed it out of the park, right? I heard that Ted O'Brien basically got heckled his entire speech.
I think that was, I watched it. I think that was a bit of a exaggeration that he got heckled for his entire speech, but they did heckle a couple of times. I think the bigger issue with his speech was just that people were snoozing off. Like he wasn't talking about anything. So Timu Ted Walsh did not excel. I mean, he was the wrong person to put up for that from the party. Like you could have put up literally anyone else. They could have.
They sent Angus and I saw someone saying it was a ChatGPT speech, a GPT speech.
They should have sent Michaelia Cash and just blown a speedball of cocaine up her ass like the chick from Fleetwood Mac beforehand. That would have been spectacular. That's what I would have done if I was the Liberals. It wasn't. It wasn't that edifying. Look, I mean, you know what? The most interesting thing about CPAC that I did see was but before and after Backpack, I was drinking at Irish Murphy's up the road there from where the Parliament is, where the event was held, and it was packed with normie boomers going to CPAC. Like I was talking to them in the smoking area. We went out afterwards. We went out for dinner after Backpack, and there were more of them there. Like it, and we were around the block. I think it was at Star, so there was a lot of people around there, and so you could kind of see who it was for. And it's almost like the kind of people you'd see on a cruise. Like these were Sky News people. It wasn't. They're not ideologues. I don't think they were that excited about the messaging so much as probably just a chance to see all their friends they made during COVID. Which kind of tells you a lot about who it's for.
Yeah, absolutely. Enoch, what did you think, mate?
Of Backpack? Because I didn't go to CPAC.
Oh, you didn't go to CPAC? You just went to ChadPack?
That's right.
That's a smart thing to do.
I thought it was pretty awesome, pretty well attended. So
the crowd was huge, right?
Yeah. It was all male, but a friend of mine who's in the Liberals told me that's pretty normal for these kind of events.
I spoke to a couple of girls.
Yeah, okay.
I made a beeline for him. Drew Pavlou was there. Yes, I spoke to the girl who sung the national anthem. I don't know what her name was, but she was pretty based. She was there with her sister. So I spoke to both of them. So maybe that's her, the one woman in the chat saying hi.
Well, we've got one woman on the stream of consciousness. We're allowed one.
We're allowed one.
It's either a woman or a Fed. It's one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe both.
Yeah, she's going to ask to see our guns any second now. Look, the big takeaway from Backpack, and we should put up a link or something in the stream at some point so people who are watching it can join up. But Frank Salter, if you're familiar with his work, he's been kind of circling this concept for a really long time. I mean, everyone there's heaps of new things starting and heaps of people doing new stuff politically and the movement broadly, but he's really kind of catalyzed into this one thing he wants Backpack to be now, which is effectively a lobby group for Anglo-Celtic Australians. So just like there's an Australian Muslim Association or an Australian Indian Association or whatever, he sees the British Australian community as being that, like a peak body for white guys, less so than a political movement. And when you look at it like that, that's where the value comes from, I think, because there's a layer of activism there you can do.
I love that that's somehow a controversial thing to do, right? Like every other ethnic group can have an organization that represents their interests, but if we do it, this is a problematic move. So good on the guys for pushing this seriously.
Well, in one of Jonathan Bowden's speeches, he actually he anticipated this. He said, "There will come a time when, if the current trends continue, our people will be a minority, and we will begin to have to organize on the same basis as all these other minorities we see and start to play those games." And he kind of goes on to then say that he doesn't want to adopt the kind of role of the victim because it's inherently weakening. Now, I only know Jonathan Bowden's work through kind of summaries that I've read from a critical perspective, of course. I don't sit around watching Jonathan Bowden speeches, and I don't recommend everyone does that. But so I thought that was quite interesting, kind of sitting there listening to Backpack kind of, getting on that same kind of thing of saying, well, we need a group to protect our interests just like all these other groups. It's like, it's beginning to happen. It is beginning to happen, unfortunately.
The two main keynote speeches there too from Stephen Chavura and McInerney were absolutely spectacular. And as someone, and like a few of you probably watching, have sat through a shit ton of pre-selections over the years, like these would have been the most amazing pre-selection speeches you've ever heard. Like the personal story, the political content, the two guys just nail it every time they get up there. You can't fault their ideological center of gravity or the methodology they apply to their intellectualism. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They were probably a highlight. The Q&A's got a bit messy at the end because our guys can't just be normal for 5 minutes. I think we were like 15 minutes in and someone
any questions
asking about
when violent retribution.
Someone raised the Kalergi. How do you say it? The Kalergi plan.
Man. Yeah, okay,
straight away. It's one of those things. I've only ever read about it. I don't think I've ever had to.
I've only ever seen stuff about it on Twitter.
Yeah. It's one of those things I only talk about on Twitter. So we got into that, and but it was fun. It was a fun event, and we did do some interesting kind of canvassing of the political problems, which we're going to move on to soon. But look, the week of PAX was fantastic. What it demonstrates, though, I think, is there is a real appetite for a week-long festival of right-wing nut jobs that you could pull off. If you could get some extra cash and some. Maybe do it in Sydney just because it's more central. And then just do a full week of it. I reckon that'd be fantastic. And just along the entire spectrum too. Like show week. Or like fashion week, but for the weirdest ideas imaginable. And with zero chicks.
One. It's just true.
It's just true, yeah. As someone pointed out, as soon as I mentioned women being there, Drew came up. He didn't stay long. He only stayed for the beginning. It's nice of him to show up though.
Yeah, absolutely. Bruce is saying
so
attack Hasty now.
I don't know, but if we're going to get straight into the Hasty attack, look, everyone's got to make up their own mind on Hasty. I don't think we're going to jump straight into attacking him. If you want a really good precis of probably where my thinking's at on him, and I think where a lot of guys' thinking is Tim Matheson's piece that went up on the Noticer this afternoon is fantastic. I think hits a lot of nails on a lot of heads. And it basically echoes what we said on this stream last week, which is, he might say some cool stuff, but it's the party room, it's the shadow cabinet, it's the party administration itself. How do you circumvent all that? I proposed a pathway for it that I don't think, anyone's ever going to be able to pull off. But when you... Now Bruce is in there saying all hasty shillers are wasting time, whatever. I mean, I don't think it's a waste of time, and I don't think a lot of these guys are shilling for it. But I think what's really happening here is we're keeping some of these ideas on the front pages. We're keeping people thinking about them by talking about Hasty. There's nothing wrong with talking about Hasty. The only bad thing any of us could do right now is stop getting publicity. Right? And it doesn't matter who it is, so long as they're out there getting publicity on it, it's working. So this, and look, we might have to get into it later, but this thing we've seen in the last 24 hours, where there seems to be this kind of attack on everyone from the moderate national conservative fringe. Well, I guess that doesn't make sense, but from moderate national conservatives who are being attacked. This has all come about in the last 24 hours, and I think it's really unhelpful. Like, everyone's communicating to different audiences. I don't think it matters so long as you're communicating. But I'd be interested to hear on other new views. We've got Scully, who I think is going to glaze Hasty a little bit.
So, hello, gents.
Good, mate.
John, I was just wondering if you could unpack that a little bit, because I don't know what the back and forth has been on that.
Well, it seems in the last 24 hours there's been a concerted attack from various parts of the internet on not only Hasty, but on anyone seen to be kind of advocating for him publicly, but more so just anyone who's kind of advocating for, moderate national conservatism. It's coming out of Telegram. Yeah, from the right. Yeah. And it's our own guys. It's punching right. There's this whole... No punching right, yeah. There's this whole argument about intellectual purity that we could get into, but I just think it's manifestly unhelpful. I mean, if someone's out there, they're getting media, they're talking about immigration, they're talking about protectionism, they're talking about conservatism, you just want to let them do it.
Right? Yeah, I mean, look, I think the concerns that people have about Hasty are legit to some extent, not so much necessarily because it's Hasty, but because, as we were talking about earlier today and as I put up on X, a lot of these people are not, once bitten, twice shy. They're 1,000 times bitten by the cold.
Oh, yeah.
Their hesitancy to sort of blindly back, the Hasty momentum, I fully understand it. I'm really skeptical. I like that Hasty's making the right noises. Sure, we should bring back fucking manufacturing in this country, and we can get in the weeds on that later. But it can't just be based videos standing in front of Fords and Holdens and saying bring back manufacturing. Yeah. Like, what are you actually going to do? And you can't just say, oh, we're gonna get rid of net zero. Well, no, hang on. What is like a detailed plan, and how are you going to circumvent every single fucker that's in the bureaucratic state that's going to try and stop you, but also every single person that's in your own party that's going to try and stop you? And until I see that plan, I'm not going to shit on you, but I'm also not going to sit there and say Hasty's the guy.
Well,
like I've been blackpilled, numerous times, right?
And it's clear he doesn't have a plan, because the manufacturing video was like we were discussing earlier this afternoon. It's all vibes. There's no plan. It's just like what they did on nuclear under Dutton, right? It's a good idea executed poorly. If you can't explain how you're going to do it at this point, I mean, he should have been more clear that it's a kind of aspiration he was talking about. The media are misconstruing it as his policy. I mean, how the fuck you?
The car is a metaphor.
The car is a metaphor for Australia. Yeah,
we're not going to start manufacturing vintage Holdens or something like it.
Yeah, well, that could be the takeaway.
That's what
that could be the takeaway, that you're going to manufacture vintage Holdens again.
John and I were talking about this earlier, which is a lot of manufacturing. It only stacks up if you can sort of like integrate it to other aspects, right? Whether it be defense industry or things like that. So fine, bring back the VS Commodore Ute, strap fucking machines gun to it, and sell it as technicals to the Ukrainians. I'm all good. Let's do that.
Well,
I mean, this is how Mercedes-Benz and Peugeot used to function, right?
We needed automobile manufacturing capacity because it had a strategic value, because those same skills, those same machines could be turned over to mechanized infantry, production in time of war. Those days are gone. There might be some other strategically important manufacturing it makes sense to support, probably around drones or something, but
maybe, that's what I was talking about today.
That's what John was saying earlier today.
There's a few startups looking at that kind of stuff.
So I just want fucking cars to come back. But I agree that it's probably not the best investment. But the thing I do want to talk about, though, is the sort of econ brain people that view the world through a spreadsheet and just go, well, the ones and zeros don't stack up, in terms of profitability, so we shouldn't do it because subsidies are always bad. And I used to be one of these people. I used to view the world through a spreadsheet. As I've matured, I've actually realised that it's all completely horseshit. We subsidise things in this country every single day of the week. I think it's okay for the right to say no. We're also going to do it, and we're going to subsidise things that are better for our people and better for our ideologies, and help us get a step ahead. Whether that be auto manufacturing, whether that be making drones, whatever it may be, I think it's totally fine to say, yeah, no, we're actually going to get in behind this and support this. The reason I point to cars is because, yeah, I'm a car guy, but I think Judith Sloan was saying, that Holden Commodores and Fords were, shit vehicles compared to Camrys and things like that. And she's technically correct. Yeah. They were less fuel efficient. My dad had a VN Commodore. It was a bag of bolts, but it was our bag of bolts, and it was built in Australia, and it was designed predominantly by Australians. And most of the parts in it, other than the Buick V6, were, Australian made. And even though everyone knew that technically a Camry was a better vehicle, people went out and bought fucking Fords and Holdens because they wanted to support Australian made. That's a good thing. So maybe it's not cars, maybe it's something else. But I think that the right needs to get away from the econ brain people and just say, no, actually we're going to back things that help our culture.
How about cheap energy, and then sure, the market can find the most efficient thing. But if we just have really cheap energy, that's an input to all that kind of stuff. If we have expensive,
which we absolutely could have.
Yeah, we could have it.
I mean, I'll just put my little bit in before I duck off, so I'm not sitting here all night. But I won't fully glaze Hasty. I think you guys are right to be skeptical. We all saw what happened to Dutton literally this year. So apparently, the big scary anti-immigration man is a big softie for Indian migrants. But I think the main takeaway is, I know there's been a bit of backlash from right and left for Hasty, but he's reaching out. He's creating a buzz in the direction we want it to go, and the Liberal Party may fucking white ant him and rat fuck him in the end. But if they keep seeing people getting around him, getting the conversation, pushing it in this direction, then they're going to see it as a viable option, because as kind of you alluded to, John, in your article, and kind of what I said to you last week, at some point the Liberal Party is in a survival situation where they either embrace the right or they go down the drain. So some people want to pour kerosene, as the analogy has been made, but in the end, don't we just want to win however way we get there?
Yeah. No, we do, right? And this is why it's kind of disappointing to see which way the Hasty debate is evolving, because Hasty's now skipping to the point where he thinks he's got to come up with policies and shit like that. I mean, he's way off that. He's got to unite the party around him, which he's failed to do, and he's got to unite us. And it's clear from just what's happened in the last couple of days, and from the feedback you're getting from people like us on the ground, he hasn't done that. I mean, a lot of people think he's some kind of gay op or something. I mean, a lot of people just are like us and just, we think it's fantasy football and it doesn't matter if he gets it. Nothing's going to happen. And that's what he has to spend his time persuading people of. They've got to persuade people like us that if he gets in, he can do something with it. And he's got to persuade, and for better or worse, the guys with runes and their PFPs and shit, that he's not some kind of Palantir agent who's just controlled opposition. Right, because if he wants to play in the rights kind of ecosystem, you have to respond to the ecosystem, not just to the shit on Sky News.
Here's some combining from last week. What if it's King Hasty, and then he also pushes entryism into the Liberal Party? So he creates a wave of new people getting into the Liberal Party and forces their hand.
Well, it's been suggested to me that. No, you go, Skull.
No, I was going to say, I think that's kind of where I'm going with it. The more vibes you get, the more buzz you bring, the more the Liberal Party is going to see it as a viable option to this fucking, left-wing lay, green energy, softism.
Yeah.
And the more talk and the more vibes we bring to it, the more it's going to make an impact. And I'll just say, he posted, I don't know if you saw it, maybe about 20 minutes ago, about the fake asylum seekers clogging up the court.
I saw that right before he jumped on.
he's still moving. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
That's all well and good. I think there is actually a likelihood that someone in the hasty orbit is watching this. And so for those of you who are, the thing I would say, and a couple of years ago, I was having a dinner with a couple of senators, and some of them are moderates, and they were asking me, how do we approach younger voters that are abandoning us? And I said to them, you need to take extreme positions, and whatever position you think is right wing, add like another 20 or 30% to it, and then at that point you might be in a sort of what we consider a normal position, right? So for all of any hasty orbiters that are out there, yeah, great, cool car video, appreciate that. Go look up what Rupert Lowe's saying, copy paste, right? Go look at what the extreme guys in Reform are saying, copy paste. Watch podcasts of the Lotus Eaters, listen to Bo, listen to Sargon and a couple of the other guys, and get your head around where people want to fucking be, because vibes are great. I'm all for trying to turn things around, but I am, like many people, 1,000 times bitten and 1,000,000 times shy.
Yeah, I mean I'm 30, so not quite that young, but I think I'm a bit younger than you guys. But the right wing in this country is just so boomer brained that we literally hate ourselves getting involved in the Liberal Party, because there's nothing for us for the next 30 years, according to their own policies. And this is where Hasty or whoever, the new right, the populist right, needs to bring something radical that can appeal to Greens voters. That's the ideal appeal to people who just want to kind of turn the system upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and this is what's been going on with the populist right globally for a decade that we've just completely missed out on. I mean, there's an argument that it goes back to Tony Abbott, and Abbott, we kind of actually got it early and nipped it in the bud before 2015, 2016 when Abbott came along. And so then we kind of deflated the issues a little bit, and we never ended up with it. But now's our time. So you need to go back to those policies which are deliberately self-destructive to the establishment. That's the only viable solution. The people like Theresa May and then Boris were only able to exist because in the British public's mind, they lanced the boil with Brexit. Brexit was a deliberately self-destructive act against the British establishment that the public took a great pleasure in doing, just like electing Donald Trump in 2016 was to the Americans. And what I think the Liberals just don't grasp, and this is where, like Drew had just pointed out, the whole, his kind of moderate viewpoints and the fact that he is in the establishment then becomes the problem. Because what guys like us want, and what I think a growing cohort of voters want, is self-destruction. We want to hurt the Australian political and business elite. We want to take their toys away somehow. Brexit did that really well. Trump did that really well. We have to figure out what that thing is here, because it turns out it wasn't the Voice. I really thought at the back of the Voice that some heat would go out because people might think that, we'd struck a blow for the good guys with that. But we really didn't. No one really gave a shit about the Voice. We really need to hit them on something that they're not going to forget. And finding out what that is and doing it is going to be what revolutionizes Australian politics.
Yeah, agreed.
Who's the fifth guy we got in here?
So we've got Man from Ironbark, we've got Enoch, we've got Skull. I think we know who Man from Ironbark is, but I think
I'm gonna duck off, boys. Thanks. I'm
Skull.
gonna join
Thank
the audience
you for your contribution.
Enjoy the Reds.
Keep fighting the good point, the good fight. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Have a good stream, boys. Catch you later.
Hasty is spiritually Rukshan Fernando. I don't know if that's right. Everyone keeps saying he's been caught wearing a turban. I haven't seen the Hasty turban. If anyone's got the Hasty turban, can we link it, please?
That was Jason Wood, wasn't it?
I haven't seen it. Yeah, the one where he looks like the Harry Potter guy.
He looks like the first villain in the first.
Yeah.
Oh man! Druid. So Hasty being a parliamentary op has nothing to do with it. It's he's playing to the most banal of moderate right talking points, whilst having a horrible track record. Yet we should promote him. Yeah, I mean these are the things, right?
but this is one of the things that I've always kind of wondered about him, like how quickly he just walks shit back. And look, I've heard that he has issues in WA, that his pre-selections aren't guaranteed, which goes to that point around entryism. I mean, one question is with Liberal Party pre-selections going on at the moment, how much of this is about, him backfilling numbers into WA just to make sure that the pro-China factions of the WA Liberals don't roll him? I mean, that could be all that's happening right now. But a great example was during the last election campaign when the Women in Combat thing happened, right? And who was it? I mean, it was Richard Marles came out, and who was it that said the thing about women in combat?
It was Hasty,
said that women.
Oh no!
It was the guy. It was that guy down in.
He was a candidate, and he got replaced.
And he got punted by the Libs, and then they trotted Hasty out to stand there through gritted teeth and say, actually, women can be in combat, and it was ludicrous.
Yeah,
I did a podcast with Fred Paul, and we talked about it a lot, like how stupid that was. But that's a great example of what Druid's talking about, like how unreliable he can be, and. And then you got the stuff that went on with Ben Roberts-Smith that agitates a lot of people. I mean, I know more about that than most, and I mean, I can see why the optics of it.
So what's the background on that? I don't know a huge amount about it.
Well, there's this view that he gave evidence to the Brereton Royal Commission that helped sink BRS and a couple of the other guys, including, I think, that guy who the ABC did the piece on with the fake gunshots in the background, which is all you remember about that Four Quarters report now.
Yep.
I wouldn't get too deep into the weeds on that stuff, though, because that whole thing's just a fucking mess, and those guys are cowboys. And
it looks to me like he was called to give evidence, and then he told the truth.
Yeah,
like that's what it looks
like.
I
know. Like, I mean, what else could you say at that point?
Like he was just like the bad stuff he said was like confirming things that have been like they were basically saying, did the unit have a reputation for like violence and ruthlessness? And he's like, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's like, and they did. So,
yeah.
Like, if he
saying it was
that'd be a mark against him.
Yeah. I mean, what were we sending them over there to do? We were sending them over there to kill guys, and then they killed guys.
And
that's the whole other part of it. It's a war we shouldn't have been in, and we gave them impossible to follow rules, and then we put them there. Then they broke the rules, and then we all wrung our hands about it. It's like,
I reckon there's way more to it, and we'll find out probably in like 30 years. But I reckon there was way more to it, and there's a lot of probably internal bullshit that was going on, and also the thing you hear from guys is that they were getting enormously powerful inside the Defence Force. And the SAS were picking their own missions, and they were working with the US. I mean, one of those guys, the famous guy that got shot in the helicopter, the most Australian war crime of all time, where the helicopter pilot says, we've only got room for 10, you've got 11, and then he hears a gunshot go off, and the guy says, yeah, we've only got 10. That episode was clearing out a poppy farm with the US. Like, why the hell are Australian SAS arresting poppy farmers on behalf of the US government? So there was question marks about like that over the whole thing, and I suspect that there was a view that they had to clean house or something like that. I mean, I know they're Anzac heroes and whatever, but you got to look at the real politic of this stuff at some point. So I don't know whether that'll hurt Hasty or what. He's never addressed it at all, like apart from a couple of softball interviews with the ABC. Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to hurt him at all. Look, so long as he's out there, and the most important thing you can keep doing is talking about immigration. And I think Jordan said this on Twitter today. Like, all you need to be doing right now is talking about immigration. That's it. And I mean, that was one of the disappointing things about CPAC, really, is there wasn't that much talk about immigration.
Well, so Jordan's getting lit up a little bit by people saying, "Oh, you're shilling for Hasty," and Jordan's a younger guy. He hasn't experienced the pain that we have. So I don't blame him for being quietly optimistic about Hasty momentum and the Hasty wave. One thing I did notice is a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you deleted Migration Watch, so therefore you've become a shill." Part of that is because all the content that was on Migration Watch, he's now just saying publicly under his own name and his own base, right? Like
with double as many followers.
Yeah, so I think on this, and please don't think that I'm trying to shit on people who are anonymous, right? Like I totally get it. I'm lucky enough that I, pretty much work for myself, so I can say whatever I want to, some extent until I get debanked. But Jordan being out there, under his own name and his own face, he's making more content that's anti-mass migration than he was doing when he was running Migration Watch, right? And as he said, he's got double the followers, and more people need to try and do that. Now, a lot of people, they can't, right? They've got jobs where if they go and speak out under their public name, they're probably going to lose it. But if you are in the position where you can sort of push the Overton window, you should get out there under your public face, not an anonymous account, and push that narrative to show that there's more people out there that are concerned about this.
And the other thing about Migration Watch, which is why people shouldn't think it's a big conspiracy theory, is when Jordan started that, it was coming off the back of the UK Migration Watch account. And things have moved on so much from then. Like, I don't think the UK Migration Watch account is even that active nowadays, because there are now just so many loud mainstream and adjacent voices that are talking about immigration. So strategically, it doesn't make sense to have this stalking horse when you can just run the horse out in front yourself under your own name, which is what everyone is doing. So I don't think there's much to be read into on that. I mean, we do kind of have to talk about where all this stuff is coming from, because we saw Kaz Ross tweeting about it today, which is it's a sudden push from the NSN Telegram channels. Right, so that's where the stuff on Jordan's coming from. That's where a lot of the pushback on Hastie's coming from. Like, how genuine is it on Twitter? I'm not really sure. I haven't dived that deep into it, but this stuff seems to have happened in the last 24 hours.
Those guys want total liberal death, right? And they've been open about that for years. So I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm open about wanting that too.
Yeah, sure. A lot of people want total liberal death. So I'm not surprised that people get concerned when they think that someone's glazing. But I guess I would say, give Jordan the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, he's out there under his own name, posting way more content that's anti-mass migration than he ever did when he ran Migration Watch. And there's something to be said about people doing it, under their own banner, under their own name, publicly, versus through an entity. Right? I remember when Migration Watch first popped up here, and everyone was saying, "Why don't you show your face? You're too fucking weak. You don't want to do it because you're scared."
Yeah, exactly.
Had it out and fucking started doing it. So.
I mean, it's funny because the same people who are now hitting him for it from the left are the same ones who are saying, "Oh, who is the shadowy Migration Watch? Oh, it's Jordan Knight. He goes on Sky." Like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, you can't win with these people. You shouldn't even argue with them. And I think, unfortunately, that's increasingly the tone of what's coming out of the Wignat Telegram channels as well. Is, you're never going to be able to win with these guys. Like, unless you put on an armband and sig when you should have hailed. Like, there's just no hope of placating any of them. And so then, you have to ask the question, why should you even engage with them in good faith? Because they're never going to engage in good faith.
I'm liking all the people just commenting TLD.
Yeah, that's good. Keep that up. Yeah.
It's like the 2025 marketing thing, right? Like, a personal brand is more powerful now than like something that's branded as as something like as a banner of an organization.
Yeah, I think we just found our first stream of consciousness merch is going to be a TLD t-shirt.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
all funds will go to our sort of week-long Denny Ute Muster / a new Australian conference.
Pack Week 2026 backpack. Yeah, that's what we're going to spend the money on. Yeah. $25 flags. I mean, how much? T-shirts are actually kind of expensive. I have to order some for my kid.
No, you can get them cheap, but if you actually want to, make them in Australia, then I think Patriot Pavlu has joined the.
Whoa!
Oh, he's got.
Well, let's get his feedback.
He's got to connect.
Let's get his feedback on Backpack. Yeah.
Oh.
Mick Manimus is in the chat as well. I noticed.
Drew dropped out. I don't know what happened there.
Rowan says, "Can we trust Hastie, a close personal friend of PVO?" I mean, well, if being a friend of PVO is a reason not to trust someone, I mean, Leith Van Onselen is his brother, and he does more for us economically through macroeconomics than anyone. People have weird friends. You should see some of my friends, dude. I got some doozies. But I don't think you can trust anyone who's a politician as a general rule. But the question is he helping right now? Yes. Can he become leader? Maybe. What changes if he becomes leader? Like, I think there's this concern that if he becomes leader, it takes the heat out of the immigration question, out of the populist right as a whole, that he becomes a containment, that he contains it. That is a threat, but only if he becomes leader and we all pack up and go home. And so it's really a test for us as the movement's radical vanguard to say, well, if Hastie becomes leader, then we have to go twice as hard and pressure Hastie. And
it's not enough. Whatever happens with Hastie is not enough, right? Like, if he becomes leader and makes the right sounds, you can't stop there. You need to keep saying, no, I'm still not going to come to you. I'm still not going to vote for you until you meet me on these issues, right? What are you going to do for me? And this is the thing.
Yeah.
The Triggerboffs of Australia, the donor political class, they cut deals all the time between Labor and Liberal. They don't have any real political allegiances, right? They just go, what are you going to do for me in order for me to donate to your party so that you can have an upper hand at the election? Well, we don't have that, but we have our vote and we have the ability to completely roast these people online and completely shut down their discourse. So if Hastie does become leader and he's saying, we're going to bring back manufacturing and, we're going to cut migration, well, how much by? Is it 25%? That's not enough. So fucking try again, right? You need to keep running that hard bargain.
All right, here's the threat. Okay, if he fucks the right, we're going to follow him around in a vintage car. His whole campaign.
yeah. We'll do an advanced style Captain Get Up thing where we'll just like Captain Australia. I'll get the Captain Australia guy from the March for Australia in Hobart and follow him around. And
a vintage car,
drive around in it.
Australian flag, like deco.
Yeah.
Decal rubber, and just deck it right out.
Look, I think everyone's massively overestimating his chances. Like, I really do. And I think at the moment, they'll give Susan a couple more weeks because I think internally they've rallied around her and they probably think she's getting some mileage out of the Palestine stuff, which is nonsense. Like, they needed an extra 400 Jews to vote for them in Wentworth, and they didn't vote for them last time, and it's not changing. So I don't think that's going to have any electoral impact. Her numbers keep going down. They'll give her a couple of months, and then they'll go to Angus. I don't think the Hastie thing is going to pan out. It's great to talk about. It's a great foil, and it is going to be fantastic for us if he loses, because that's just the nail in the coffin for the Liberals. And then, we can put the TLD T-shirts up on the Stream of Consciousness webpage that we haven't made that yet. But so this is why I'm like not kind of black-pilled about it, or I don't see like a downside at all. I mean, the worst case scenario is our fault, right? Like if he gets in and we let him contain the Australian right, then that's on us. Like David Dean just pointed out, he said back to 2019 levels. Like if he's, I mean, these levels are entirely flexible. Dutton went in saying he wanted to cut a 50%, then 25%, and then by polling day it was nothing, right? So you can push him on the numbers. If you push Hastie hard enough, we could even be into remigration talk. That's not out of the question. But we have to push it. And I think guys have kind of taken a bit of a black pill on how much influence they have. It's clear we have a tremendous amount of influence over these guys' thinking, and the shit posting and the ratios that we subject them to on X have had a massive impact on them. Like Jason Falinski was responding to me yesterday. That's how seriously these guys are taking it, that they're now trying to come up with like witty retorts to things. Like, I really think, in maybe 6 months, the stuff that we're talking about online right now is going to break into the mainstream. They're going to be doing pieces on Channel 9 about it. We got another guest. Welcome.
Hello, it's Drew. I'm just trying to fix up my camera.
Oh, wow.
That's all right, mate.
That's true. Is this
It is
like
true.
punished? What's with the PFP? Is it?
Yeah, I like
true?
it. Punish Pablo.
It's my editor. It's like my editor's like PFP for some reason. I know Dr. Kaz is probably watching, so they're gonna try now dox him.
Hi, Dr. Kaz, if she's watching.
Hi, Dr. Kaz.
Hi, Dr. Kaz.
It's like that.
John
What's that new
Caramello's
series
just figured out
on?
Sorry, mate.
Thank you. Love it. TLD. Have you that new series on Apple TV about the woman who lives in goes out to her shed and hunts right wingers on the internet? Have you seen this? The Savant.
Beautiful.
I saw the trailer for it today. Yeah, and it's like you know how like they're constantly changing people's races in movies. It's like they've gone after Kaz Ross's body image and made her a skinny white woman.
That's cruel. That's cruel.
But
I think Dr. Kaz
she's sitting there with 5 screens, hunting right wingers online.
Meanwhile,
I think Dr. Kaz is beautiful in her own way.
But that's just you, Drew.
I'm actually not a mean person at all. Like, she would probably say mean things about me. I actually wouldn't say mean things about her.
She does say mean things about us. I'm pretty sure she wants us dead, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's
literally
really
wants us dead.
It's really sick.
I mean, I've seen pictures of Kaz. I'm not a doctor, but I reckon on health grounds we'll probably outlive her. But
yeah. At some point, I mean, hopefully the media are going to give up on getting comment off it because they'll have to, sooner or later, they'll have to realize that she's not a serious academic. Like, I don't know.
Drew's
probably
dropped
won't.
out. I think he's going to try and jump back in with his camera. Kaz is messing with his tech.
Yeah, she's DDoSing him.
To circle back, I think there's a version of Hasty, though, that does completely screw us, right? Where he gets in, he doesn't reform the Liberal Party. It remains fundamentally ready to be essentially a left-wing force, but then he makes all the right-wing noises that he'll just never follow through on.
We've seen this before, and this is what I was saying, is like the nightmare scenario is that Tony Abbott, I heard, used the call saying, give us one last chance. He said that at CPAC, right? He didn't say, try us again. He said, give us one last chance. Right?
One last chance. Those are his words. Yeah.
If the one last chance is that we get Hasty Mentum in and then nothing actually happens and then we fall over the demographic cliff, well, then Hasty's fucked us, right? And the coalition have fucked us. So that's why, going back to what John was saying, even if he becomes leader, it is not enough. Even if he's saying bring back manufacturing and net zero, cut migration, it is not enough. You need to keep dragging him over. And we can see what happened in the UK, right? Farage joined Reform blew up, they got 4 MPs, and then Farage started sort of just toning everything down. And if it wasn't for the Lotus Eaters guys, if it wasn't for Rupert Lowe and others dragging Farage to the right on issues, Reform wouldn't be where they are now. So
yeah,
whatever the Hasty guys offer us, it's not enough. We're going to keep asking for more. That's correct. That's correct. Right up until election day.
And looking at some of the figures that are out today, I reckon the biggest thing to keep asking about is international student numbers, right? Because what I said before about needing that to lance the boil of the Australian political establishment, there is no better way to do that than the total destruction of Australia's universities.
Yep.
So,
Drew, your camera's working, mate. You're on now.
Good stuff.
Different angle too. Yeah, welcome, Drew.
Yeah, thank you, lads. Did you know I actually am going to be doing a episode of the Drew Pavler Show with Hasty sometime over the next?
No way.
Well, mate,
we're organizing. We're trying to organize it at the moment.
Grill him on some of these points, right? It can't just be vibes, man. There has to be.
No, I understand. Listen, I saw today, and this was an encouraging thing. He came out this morning. This evening. I think literally 1 hour ago, and he said straight up, mass deport anybody here who's on a fake asylum visa. And that's 100,000.
Yeah, I saw that. 100,000.
So he is moving. He is moving.
Yeah. It was the guys who've had their asylum claims rejected who are still here. So look, I know there'll be guys who say it's not enough, whatever, but it's a start. I mean, it's an Australian politician saying to deport 100,000 people. I mean, the previous governments have had 1,000 on Manus and Nauru that we needed to get rid of, and now you've got a guy saying 100,000 people who are here in the country have to go. That is a huge step, and this goes back to the point both Brian and I have made that we have to keep up the pressure on these guys just continually. So.
Look, I understand, and I just want to say, I think there are people who are blackpilling massively. Like, there are people who are basically like, "Oh, Andrew Hastie isn't immediately like screaming, like he's not doing like Hitler salutes. Oh my god, bro, he's a communist." Like people need to relax. Like we saw today, like Joel Davis mobilized. Like he told everyone with the NSN to go out and attack Hastie. So we know, like that's what they're literally doing right now, and it's just retarded. I think it's retarded.
We have to push him hard after he becomes leader. I don't think we should force him into a position of taking a whole lot of stances that are going to screw his ability to take over the party.
Yeah, I don't understand. Well, the only people I think who want to try and do that are literally accelerationists who would prefer that there be no right-wing government at all. I think literally the NSN idea is, well, have a communist government of Australia in power for 30 years, get the Anglo share of the population down to 20%, and then we're going to have a magic civil war and we get to kill everyone. And it's just mentally ill. Like, Andrew Hastie can form a national conservative government, and he can lower migration straight away. Let's have a normal mainstream option. I mean, there are accelerationists, obviously, who don't want an actual solution through democratic means.
But what they're talking about is like this insane mentally ill acceleration. We are talking about acceleration right now. I mean, when we're talking about a guy who is currently not the leader, who can be aggressively pushed towards more extreme positions, that is acceleration in of itself.
I want to cut you off, John. I think extreme's not necessarily the way to put it. I think we should just say the mainstream position is that Anglo-Australians should not be made a minority of the country. I think it's a mainstream normal
I think that's a pretty normal position to have.
I think we shouldn't say that.
I mean, it's extreme for the Liberal Party, right? It's extreme for their audience. Yeah, it's moderate in here. It's moderate. It's a moderate opinion to have on the stream of consciousness. But it's
Look, I mean, I'm going to be that guy that always both sides.
Sorry about the audio. I had a dog doing.
No, it's fine, man. I'm going to both sides argument this thing. Look, I broadly agree with Drew that you don't want to go into this like turbo insane accelerationist viewpoint. But similarly,
there are Corbynists of the left. They're Corbynists of the right. They're like purity Corbynists, of the right wing.
But similarly, and this is someone who has, been Dutton pilled and Abbott pilled prior to that, only to just be fucking, sitting there pulling their knives out of my back. I just, I have to caution people against incrementalism, right? So I think what Enoch's saying is right? If Hastie takes leadership, that's on him to figure out and navigate. The point at which he does is where it's up to us to drag him to the right on every single issue and go, no, sorry, it's not enough. Well, your nice populist video, like it, not enough. I'm not turning out to vote, and I'm not coming in and backing you, and I'm not promoting your content until you announce X, Y, and Z policy.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they've done in the UK, as we keep saying. We have to take their playbook and just keep relitigating it. And we're going to need you for that, Drew. You're a key part of that strategy now. You're in the tent whether you like it or not. I've still got your wallet.
You're still muted, Drew.
John stole the Drew Pavley wallet to make me right wing. Listen, I want to say I'm actually very mainstream and very moderate and very centrist. I think it's very centrist to say that we shouldn't make European Australians a minority of the country. I think that's actually a very normal mainstream position. I think my read of it, right, is if you went to the average person on the street, they don't like white identity politics. They don't want to be seen as racist and stuff like that. But equally, they don't want to be made a minority of the country. I think that's probably where the average person is. That's my take. If you ask the average person on the street, they don't like what NSN is doing and stuff like that. Equally, I don't think they want to actually be made a minority in Australia and the entire country to be completely terraformed. So I think the way I explain myself is I'm not extreme at all. I think the extremist position is what the Labor government is doing and what a lot of people from the left of Australian politics, ranging through to the twink faction of the Liberals, where they essentially want to have mass demographic terraforming of Australia. I think they're the extremist ones. And I think certainly myself, I'm a moderate. I think I said this in my Discord today. I would say a Singapore-style option where you just stabilize demographics. I think that's a good outcome. That's my personal opinion.
I mean, the only problem with that is like it's a fairly brute force stabilization that Singapore uses. I don't know how we'd achieve something like that. I mean, I've had ideas on like remittance taxes and things like that, but I don't know the extent to which based on what we're seeing in the data from the last couple of days, that they may not work anymore. So you are just going to have to get selective with who comes in, and you're going to have to send people back.
We will have to work out a way to do it. I wonder how to actually do it in a way where you can actually still reach the mainstream, though, because I think Kunle Drukpa, the great anthropologist in Britain, the great X account, I think he has a great take when he talks about pantsuit deportations. And essentially he says the politics, I think, needs to basically be avoiding scaring the hose. You have to be amenable to mainstream. And the way that the Danish Social Democrats do it, where they literally have like a very nice, normally woman in a pantsuit leading the party, and she is leading deportations. I think that's a good way to do it. Moderate,
way, if you will.
Look at Labor with things like the Palestine recognition or immigration numbers generally, or their social media bullshit. They didn't ask this in an election. They have no mandate for it. I mean, there's an argument that you make some noise about immigration in an election, and if you can get in, then you do it once you're in. But the way things are right now, are half of our guys going to vote for him if they don't say it explicitly? So that's the big challenge. And it's different in the UK, where you've got Reform are the anti-immigration party. Unless by some miracle this cartoon that Pauline Hanson is doing is the Citizen Kane of political comedy, and she manages to get to 20% by the end of the year, and then the sky's the limit. I don't really see that happening here. But before you came on, Drew, we were talking about the big news out of CPAC, which is that Pauline Hanson is doing a cartoon. Feature length. Please explain cartoon.
Is it actually a feature length one?
Yeah, it's feature length, this one. So
wow, that'll change things. That's
huge, massive. Right?
That's huge. That's huge. Yeah. How did you guys find CPAC?
I was
none of us went.
Seconds.
So. Oh, you didn't go, John?
No, I didn't go, man. I went. I'm on holiday, so I bailed after Backpack.
So you went to the Backpack one, but not CPAC.
Nah, man. Backpack was fun. All our friends are there. I actually believe in their central project. Going to CPAC, and I mean, the only thing that looked interesting, and he actually probably did a better interview with you, was Connor Tomlinson.
That was the only speech. That was so good.
Yeah, that was the only speech that was any good. So
he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. I don't know if I would necessarily endorse exactly what he said about Fatima Payment, but she's certainly somebody who hates white people in Australia, and I think she's a very negative force in the country.
Well, you got to call it out, right? Like this.
If the Conservatives were smart, they would find some fucking way to Section 44 her. But
I've got a comment.
Like Laser managed to Section 44 Matt Canavan, right? Like Jesus fucking Christ.
I've got a comment here. Someone says, "Wait, Drew, do you actually want remigration?" I want to explain. I'm not some psycho NSN guy who wants a 99% Aryan pure ethnicity. That's not what I'm talking about. I think, in particular, we've had like an elbow wave over the past like literally 3-4 years. That elbow wave has literally decreased. I think the share of the European Australian population from about 70% to 65% in just like literally 3-4 years. And so my policy is actually a very moderate one. I think you tax remittances, people who've arrived very recently, they can be encouraged to potentially return home. I'm not an extremist by any means. I think the numbers in recent years have been too high, and a lot of people do have to leave.
This is the thing, though, mate, is that all of these positions are somehow considered extreme in the Liberal Party. You go and talk to a normal person and just say, look, should we send people back that shouldn't be here? Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But not according to the government.
Not according to the government.
Hasty saying that 100,000 rejected asylum seekers should be deported. I mean, I guess that now puts them on the far right of Australian politics, but really that is actually a moderate mainstream position.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen much reaction to it apart from our guys reacting to it online.
Wouldn't most people be shocked that rejected asylum seekers are still in the country?
Yeah. I think most people are shocked.
What does rejected mean?
But the media.
Yeah, well, are they a security? Right? It's either that they're a security threat or they are not really asylum seekers. That's what the reject. That's the only two reasons you can be rejected. I mean, what are they waiting? Are they going to do all 100,000 through the ADT? Like, Gray Conley having to sit there and hear like 100,000 cases. Like, what the hell?
Oh, the AAT. On the AAT. It's funny.
Yeah. It's bizarre. But
we're getting blown up with comments, man. I'm trying to get to like all of them, but like as I load one, another one loads through, and then there's just so many people posting TLD, which for people who've just joined the stream means total liberal death. It's actually amazing.
Keep posting it, and I've got some memes coming in on my timeline. I think this is great. We always manage to start a new viral trend every stream.
I've seen people referring to Hasty as King Hasty ever since.
Yeah, we did that for a week. In fact, we might have been responsible for the Hasty glazing initially. We probably went too hard on that. I'm glad we've moderated our Hasty position now.
For background, Enoch made the correct point that if you're gonna build this sort of gigalition, this massive coalition of the right and coalition of the willing, you need a king. So. You need to.
It's the only way it works.
As such, it's the only way it works. Which is, we were sort of joking about, the King Hasty thing, and there it is. But now people are pushing TLD, total liberal death. So
yeah.
I
did do that.
That total liberal death hats.
Can I?
I did that piece on Sunday as well on my Substack, I guess, which was the liberal Delenda Est one, so we could have that on the T-shirt as well.
I saw a comment. Someone said only when Drew finds out Hasty is a Wolverine will we see the extent he can shield from. I want to be clear. I like Hasty so much because Hasty personally helped me when I was getting expelled from the University of Queensland. He was like one of the only people who said Drew shouldn't be expelled.
Now we find out it's a Palantir op from day one.
Going back 20 years. So
it's such a long plan. Like they've been at this for years.
It's like the start of the Monopoly meme, right? Like
you know what's funny? I saw like one of these anonymous right-wing accounts. They had a picture of Hasty at the Henry Jackson Society, and they're like, "This is proof that Hasty is a shield." That's where I met Hasty in person. I actually ran into him in London. So it is. You're right. It's an op that goes back years. It's an op that goes back years. I want to say people say that the neocons they're all weak, but just the fact that there are some neocons who can be radicalized into a kind of more civilizational politics, and I think that's Hasty, and it's also Drew Pavlin. So I think people shouldn't be too soft. It shouldn't be too harsh. Stop blackpilling. People can become more conservative. I now like literally straight up say that
organize to get their wallet stolen, and then they'll come to your position.
Yeah, that's the secret. Yeah. So I think we've covered the Hasty wave, Hasty momentum, the Hasty Palantir resurgence.
We've got
the other big news this week was the Sydney Morning Herald got up to some monkey business, targeting the young Turk Hugo, aka Ozpil. That story was a steaming pile of bullshit, and it also leads into October 19, which we also have to talk about, because I think we can have a same discussion about, Hasty and, the Hasty is an op thing is a bit of a meme and like a laugh. But
I met him at the Henry Jackson Society. It's a beautiful op.
But we've got October 19 around the corner. Seems to be organised in good faith, but a big coalition coming out in support of it, and a real aggressive push from the mainstream media to take the shine off it. And I mean, they are going harder on this than they went on the last one, right? So now everyone involved is a Nazi. The organizers, they're using 12-month-old group chat receipts to go after Hugo. It's kind of insane the lengths to which they're going to on this one.
But we knew that this was coming. I think we sort of spoke about this ahead of August 31, which is, look, if this thing is big, they're going to come at everyone hard. But the interesting thing is, it's not landing. Like, I saw Alexander Downer come out and defend people attending the march for Australia, which is like the wildest thing. I would never have expected that, right?
I know, right?
That's my point. The neocons can be brought onto side. It's true. It's true. Don't completely blackpill. There's people like Downer, Hasty, Drew, who were neocons, and they've got conservative.
I'm getting really optimistic about October 19, especially because, and again, don't ever let anyone tell you that shitposting doesn't work, because we shitposted the so-called containment right. We punished them for their, hedging their bets on August 31, and now they are all coming out in support. And the ones that aren't are just not mentioning it. Like Joel Jamal's on side. Big Chocky is now October 19 pilled.
Is he?
I mean, that's
Like, these are good things, right?
Yeah, right. So it just, again, it proves posting works. You can just post your way through to the outcome that you want. And the overreaction from the media is just incredible, right? It's just crazy. They don't care. I mean, a lot of the stuff they're printing at this point is just untrue. Like there's whole elements of that Sydney Morning Herald story, which we know from having talked to some of the principals involved, just things that were as outright not said. And the receipts for them are from a conversation that happened in February that's since been deleted. So that's the last piece of actual verifiable evidence they have. Everything else was just sources, off the record sources from inside whether it was the Freedom Movement or some of the freak shows in Beck Freedom's chat groups. So, we are winning. I feel like there's their overreaction to this is the clearest indication we've had in a while that we are actually winning on this stuff. And we get more numbers on this stream than the Sydney Morning Herald got on that article. So
yeah, we're at almost 2,600 at the moment. And the thing is, like, these guys don't know what to do, right? They just keep using the same old tactic. Well, dig up dirt, throw shit, and smear everyone involved. The people that turn up to these rallies don't trust the media class. In fact, what you're doing is actually emboldening them to attend even more. So please keep doing it.
Yeah,
attack everyone more.
It's working. I mean, people are coming to our side on it. I mean, the cheer I got in Tasmania when I told the crowd to not turn on their TVs at 6 o'clock that night because all the media was going to do was lie about it. Shocked even me. I mean, this is how the punters feel about this stuff. They're switching off the mainstream media entirely, and they're getting their news from alternative sources. So, yeah, I think they're on their last legs. And, were it not for Trump and Albo in New York this week, they'd probably still be on it. They'd still be talking about the Charlie Kirk fallout and still be talking about, Nazis under the bed, which is all they've got at this point.
Quokka State's shutting out. Well said.
Yeah.
Mick
said Big Shocky.
Oh yeah, Mick was questioning if I'll go back to it. Mick was questioning if Big Shocky supports October 19. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, that's what we're hearing.
Mick the Sicilian. Yeah. My Sicilian friend.
Yeah, if you misbehave, Drew, we're going to put Mick in the stream. He can start yelling at you about being a Cypriot or something.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Stephen White says Joel Jamal didn't even go to the last protest despite telling everyone to go. He's irrelevant. Look, I will defend Joel on this one. What Joel's been doing for these protests by staying in his studio and covering them is probably like 1,000,000 times more valuable than actually going. And if you look at like what Avi did when he was at the protests or any of the other YouTubers and streamers, it is much better for, as an alternative media source to have a guy in a studio running everything live. He ran speeches from all over the country. He got all the smaller marches some attention. I think he did a really good job on it. And to his immense credit, he's turned around. He's now back in October 19. And, it'll be interesting. I think is he back from the US? I think he must be.
I don't know.
He must be back now, but
Skitswood saying that Joel made a Telegram post. Oh, I'm assuming this means. I think this is a tale of the two Joels.
Oh, which Joel made a?
I don't know.
Which
Joel
Jamal or good Joel or bad Joel?
You decide which.
Yeah, you decide which is which. I'm not going to say. Yeah. Oh, is he saying for a bunch of Rune posters to come in and call us fags or something? Or
probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Mick saying regarding Big Shocky supporting the march.
How dare you guys not put runes up?
Yeah.
Where's that?
What?
How dare you guys not put runes up on the stream?
Where's that runes? I'm gonna have them come down the screen like the Matrix. like, I'm going to find out what he said. I'm curious.
I'm looking at it now. He's attacking John
too.
McGahn. He's attacking John McGahn. They literally attack every single person who's not like literally them. It's just mentally ill.
Yeah. I know. What's he saying? Here we go.
What's he saying?
He goes,
hold on.
You're sucking for the Liberal Party, so Jordan Knight gets to go on Sky Juice.
So fucking.
What?
Which copied his take? I mean, that's. I'm mostly just offended that he thinks I'm, plagiarizing him. Yes, blah blah blah. I'm just reading it.
Read it out loud.
When's the next protest? I slept through the last one. That's what Corker says.
But of course, John McGowan was literally cucked by the Liberal National Coalition when its deputy leader at the time started fucking his missus.
What the fuck, dude? They're fucking mental. See, they get these they just find someone says something retarded to them that's probably like a lie, and then they just like literally goes through Chinese whispers, and then just they store it up, and the second somebody doesn't conform to their mentally ill line, they just attack. They're fucking viciously psychotic.
It's pretty funny. Go over and read it. I'll put it up on Twitter later because it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I'll have it. I mean, look,
he called
their
it
entire tactic
tactic
is that they want total liberal death, right? And we kind of
so do we. Like, I mean,
and they've got it.
There's better ways to do it.
I'm hasty pilled. I'm still hasty pilled. I haven't had the experience of being black pilled by the Liberals yet, so I'm still hasty pilled. Also, he must be in the stream because he's got a clip of the stream on Telegram.
yeah. Jump in, bro. Oh fuck, that's funny.
Yeah, okay. What are the comments like? This is Groypers.
People are saying, Schizoid is Joel Davis.
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of like the Percy situation. There's like multiple fucking different holds that all link back to Percy.
Maybe Percy's been Joel this whole time.
It's funny. Nick's asking Drew if you're going to join the LNP.
No, I'm not joining the LNP.
No.
I'm not joining any. I've literally already been in 4 political parties by the age of like 25. I don't think I should be in a political party. I'm just a media guy. I'm a media guy. I get the views out. We had the Cosmaris Truth Nuke on my stream that led to a civil war in the Liberal Party. I'm working on the media side of things.
Yep. Madam saying Jan 26 Australia Day, Million Man March, Sydney Harbour Bridge. Yeah, look, I think people are going to get march fatigue after October 19. That's where we need to pivot to some other stuff and then come around back to Australia Day for something massive, right? And we've spoken about this before. Australia Day is something that we all need to push hard on and completely own the optics on. So yeah, I agree with Madam with an interesting profile pic there.
Why is it October? Can someone explain to me why is it October 19? Is there a special significance to the day, or is it just a random date they chose?
No, I don't know.
Someone was trying to explain to me. One of the Brisbane guys was trying to explain to me like the law behind all the dates and stuff, and I switched off because it seemed irrelevant. But I mean, I think the other thing is they got to give the cops some notice to get approvals for marching around. So I don't know. I don't think it needs to be a march. Is the thing. I think the marching overcomplicates it. You can just get everyone somewhere, listen to a bunch of speeches, do it that way. I mean, you look at the energy that Trump generates in the US. It's just a bunch of people standing in an aircraft hangar listening to him speak. I mean, it's increasingly clear there's good speakers. Do it that way. Get everyone in one place, get someone up on the stage because, if we are going to dig a way out of this collective nightmare in Australia, and it is going to take some kind of populist leader, the only way you're going to know who it is if you keep stress testing guys.
We've got a chat from Connor Tomlinson. He said, "Good day, Patriots." That's awesome.
Oh, good day, Connor. Mate,
you should send him a link.
You've got his number, haven't you? Just send him a link.
Yeah, okay. I'll send him a link. He might be busy, but I'll send him a link.
That's fine. Whatever he's doing, stream of consciousness is obviously more important.
So
Connor, we're trying to save this country, right? Like everything that's happening in the UK, when you adjust for population size, is happening fucking tenfold in this country. It is, the UK is on this like hellscape disaster run until guys like you and Carl and all the Lotus Eaters guys and Rupert turn things around. We don't have a Rupert. We don't have a Connor yet. It's just this stream and a couple of dudes online, and we need all the help we can get to turn things around. So
exactly. We really don't have a lot of resources right now.
Yeah, like we don't even get donations. We don't even get donations.
It's just me and account. It's just me and my bastard child with Barnaby Joyce. Like,
Maggie Perry asked, "When is John McGowan joining the Drew Pavley Alliance?" That's so true.
Is that the real Maggie Perry, or is that someone impersonating her? Okay, I'm not joining the Drew Pavley. I was on the ground floor of the Drew Pavley Alliance. Yeah,
I did meet you.
Did you get rid of it?
I first met you in 2022.
Yeah. You've got to try something like that. Everyone's got to try it. I tried it, failed. I had to try get back on the horse, do something else.
I had to give it a shot, right? Like, you never know what could potentially work. Someone, Poker Us, is pulling out Farage. I genuinely think Farage is like a lot smarter as an operator, like infinitely smarter.
Pauling's not our Farage. Farage is, being dragged to the right by people, which is a good thing to see. Yeah. I was concerned that he would not shift. We don't have a Farage. We don't have a Rupert. Right, and we don't have a Farage.
Yeah,
and we need both. And that's not a slight on anyone in the right politically, who's elected at the moment. But you guys aren't that, and someone needs to be.
Someone says Rennick is the guy. What are your thoughts, John? And
actually, I'm still trying to find out what Rennick said at Chris Covery's thing. Did you go to that, Drew?
Unfortunately, I didn't go, but I've never seen Rennick really talk about immigration as much, to be honest.
Well, I have heard him talk about it fairly positively, but also he hates any kind of ethnography. Like, he hates talking about, Australian cultural values, that kind of stuff. Like, he doesn't see color. He's one of those.
He's like an economic policy wonk type.
Yeah. We're all just economic. We're economic units with various haplogroups, and the haplogroups don't matter.
He thinks that we're just like flesh-bound sort of GDP.
He's helpful. He's helpful, but he's not. He's not our guy by any stretch of the imagination.
There's a comment by
he's from the Ron Paul political school of asking about the gold standard all the time as well.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, right?
We had a comment by a Labor guy, Faze, and he says, "Oh, you guys have Rupert Murdoch, so you're fine." Like, I don't think these guys understand. Rupert Murdoch is so different to what this new ride is. Like,
Murdoch arguably would hate us.
Yeah. That's if he even knows what's going on. I mean, I don't think he cares at this point. He got agitated about Charlie Kirk, but, that's probably just the editors at his mastheads who could read the tea leaves. I don't think Rupert Murdoch cares. And, he's on death's door, basically. Lachlan's got the keys to the kingdom. As soon as that guy is in the ground, Lachlan's just going to sell off parts of the empire. Like, the Daily Telegraph's going to get converted into a drop shipping site or something. Like, even talk about, talking about what News Corporation thinks, I think is kind of redundant at this point. They do trash numbers. I just think the whole thing's kind of dumb now. They don't really. Sky News still gets a regional audience, but everything else is just circling the drain. That's why
I'm glad at least there are some right-wing papers, but I wanted to bring up.
But they're not right-wing. They're not intrinsically right-wing, and they're not even like vaguely libertarian. Look at the way they backing in the social media ban and shit like that.
True, good point. Actually,
I don't think. Traditionally, News Corporation just had good numbers about audience share and via their advertisers, and so when we look back and say, "Oh, News Corp was right-wing," no, News Corp would just had their finger on the pulse of what the majority of people thought and felt. And that's why News Corp's biggest numbers and most profit came during the Howard years, because they just it was the zeitgeist. What they were putting in the papers was what people wanted to see from their politicians, created a feedback loop. Everyone was happy. Everyone made money. The country did really well. And they lost their way. Maybe like 10 years, started about 10 years ago, and it really became clear during COVID when they missed the boat on COVID and backed in the establishment on that, and their audience just started falling away, and it's never come back, and I don't think it's ever going to come back. So Maggie Perry says, by the way, like you should follow Maggie on X because I prefer her stuff to Anthony Green's on elections.
Does this mean we officially have two women watching the stream? We've doubled the female count.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
But I think because Maggie's like fucking teenager or something, but probably going to be our next Anthony Green. But ground game renting management was ridiculously impressive in Queensland. I mean, it doesn't take much though, really, does it? Like it really doesn't take much to be impressive at this point.
Pauline doesn't even have a ground game at all. It literally doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Like they actually, Pauline actually does pretty ridiculously well considering like basically a party does not really exist around her. She just is basically the candidate. Just basically the candidate.
Well, she's trying to make it happen and failing, right? Like, I mean, she's got the branches. She's charging $40 for it. Hey, we got Selena here as well, so that's a couple more.
Jump on, Selena.
Yeah. What's the Liberal Party quota that they're trying to get for women? Will we ever be able to achieve it?
we only have two, but they're good ones, right? Like,
yeah.
What do you reckon how do you actually win over women to this kind of movement? How do you actually do it?
I don't think you need to.
Yeah. I don't think you need to, but there is. Again, I'm sorry to keep pointing to the UK, but it's kind of the only reference point we have at the moment. There's this chick named Jess Gill who's doing some pretty good content over there. So she's doing like a women's safety initiative, which solely talks about the sky high rate of migrant rape statistics against British women, right, and sexual assault statistics and things like that. And she's blowing up. So if there's anyone out there that's willing to do that, Selena, if you want to dive into the stats and get out there, reach out to Jess Gill, see if you can do an Australian version of the Women's Safety Initiative, because that's a good way to own the optics. And how are you going to get attacked? Right? A left-wing journalist is going to say this female is speaking out against sky-high sexual assault rates amongst migrant communities.
Well, okay. Did you see that post I put up on? I did it on Twitter during the week, and I think the Noticer covered it too. It was about Nikki Osborne, the model who writes for News.com, being told to cover up her cleavage in the Qantas lounge. Did you see that? She didn't say. Example, right? She didn't say who. What whether it was a Star Wars named person or something that did it. But the one with and then the woman who got busted breastfeeding the week before. Like, so it's two examples of it in a row. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that resonates with women.
But Selena's saying that she's working on something like the. Sorry, mate. Well, Selena's saying that she's working on something like the Women's Safety Initiative, but the data here is harder to find. That's true. Maybe we should all chat at some point, because there are ways to get the data. It just takes a little bit more of a process, and you need to be a bit more coordinated on it. And then, sorry, Enoch, I interjected, mate. Apologies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. The coverage I saw of the Qantas lounge thing, it was covered by a picture of her in like basically nothing. It had me going.
Yeah. No, that was the Noticer. The Noticer put that one up. Yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah. I thought that might be the case.
Yeah. But it's still a good story. Like, I think everyone kind of knows how stuff like that comes about. I mean, nowadays in the UK, you got the signs at public swimming pools where they don't want you in a bikini. These are the kind of cultural shifts that happen when you start indulging in mass demographic replacement.
Also, if we just step past women's issues, like, they don't really have any sectional interests that are left to win. Like, they've got equality. Like, unless they're going for full-blown superiority, like,
they've got all the things.
I think it'll fizzle as a point of political interest.
Yeah, I think you're right. Dave, the Aussie man, saying, funny how this podcast doesn't take in talking points from normal people like us. Okay, send us the talking point. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, what are the normal people talking points right now? What do normal people care about? I tell you what, here's a talking point that normal people care about that I'm surprised no one on Twitter has been talking about. probably because no one on Twitter is that old. But the extra $50 per hour for in-home care for the seniors is incredible. And have you seen this? So so like the guys who come to your house, like district nurses and shit, and who clean up and do showers and tidy up elderly people's homes and things. The price of that from I think next month is going up by $50 per hour if you're not already on a care plan. And there's going to be people who just can't get it anymore. Like, and these are the people who come over and make food and stuff like that. So it's almost like Labor have picked sides in who they think their demographics are. I mean, I know they keep saying that they don't do that, but the fact that there was a shibboleth in Australian politics for as long as I could remember. You don't fuck with seniors at all. But the fact that Labor are now doing it suggests to me that they've just written them off, kind of like straight white men. Their coalition that they're building is North Face jacket, laptop people, women under 30, and immigrants. Right, that's the coalition they're building, and anyone outside of that, they don't give a damn about.
I mean, this goes back to the sort of long-winded post I had about Hastie, which is that the guys on the right in the coalition, they don't want to pick sides, right? I was saying that one of the things that he needs to do is he needs to clearly articulate, who his policies are designed to benefit and who they punish, right? You need to start effectively a class optics war, and the coalition don't want to do that. They want to talk about sort of these are true liberal values. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Who's benefiting? Who doesn't benefit? Labor Party's willing to do this. Labor Party's willing to pick who they represent and who they're going to completely rat fucking ignore. And they're playing to win. And so far, they fucking are winning. So we need to do the same.
Max Chandler Marxist says, who would you guys pick to be the leader of Australia if you could pick
Rupert
anyone
Lowe
in the world? Rupert
Lowe. I like Lowe. He's a smart guy.
I'm Rupert Lowe pilled. He's the guy.
Smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Can you imagine how grumpy he'd be if he was like magically transported here and had to rule here because you said so, bro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What about you guys?
It's a hard one. I don't even know. I mean, apart from me, I don't even know who I like that much.
Yeah, same here. No suitable candidate to represent the will.
Yeah. Maybe a Drew and I just run the show.
So true. Duumvirate. No suitable candidate
Brian,
to represent my will.
Yeah. That's what the sovereign citizens write on.
Yeah, no suitable candidate to represent my will.
Yeah. I can think of.
You could resurrect him.
Maybe.
Yeah, Enoch, have you got a preference?
Resurrecting people, then probably Enoch Powell then, but
Mark Latham.
Mark Latham, of course. Mark Latham. It's got to be Mark. Yeah, I mean, Mark. Yeah.
I don't know why it's going to be Mark. Yeah, so it's
why didn't we think of that straight away? Yeah, Mark.
Rupert Lowe is like in charge of migration and home affairs and things like that, and then Mark's just kind of in charge of everything else. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I'd be Mark Latham's chief of staff. I reckon that would rule. That's the job I want. Yeah. Chief of staff to Prime Minister Mark Latham, the job I was born to have. I'd even take like senior advisor in that administration. Yeah.
Fuck you saying Bukele. Yeah, you know what? Bukele would be good.
I don't know, but like everyone glazes Bukele, but at the end of the day, like how hard was El Salvador to fix up really? Like you just do some light police state there, it was going to fix it up. I don't think
you just send out
a miracle.
Yeah, exactly. I won't say that joke. Sorry.
Stephen Miller. Let's just bring Stephen Miller to Australia. As soon as Trump's term has ended, we should have a campaign to bring Stephen Miller here.
A special envoy to bring him over.
Special envoy. Maybe Trump could make him ambassador.
Rupert Lowe is not the answer that she expected.
Yeah.
Dude's based. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, he is pretty based. I don't know. Selena says the master of Australia.
The master of Australia, Mark Latham. That's Farky saying Bukele is the best example of nationalism currently. Yeah, I mean, but John's right. As much as I glaze him, and I glaze Bukele a lot, right? You know, he's had to use like a tyrant mentality in a country that was ruled by criminal tyrants, and it's worked, and it's a fucking beautiful success story. But
yeah.
You know, do we have the same kind of issues here? Not really. I mean, yeah, you need to drop the
in Victoria.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, in Victoria.
So he can be Premier of Victoria. There we go.
Well, I think I've covered this back when we just used to do the space, like how easy. I mean, Victoria just needs to do what New South Wales did in the early 21st century. Like, just like in New South Wales, they had a Middle Eastern crime squad, they had a Southeast Asian crime squad. You just need a South Sudanese crime squad in Victoria. Call it like, I mean, we had Raptor, Spartan. I don't know what you'd call the Victorian one. Probably something way lamer. I don't know. Task Force Athens, right? That would be a good name for it. Right? Kind of effeminate, and get them to just drive around in Bearcats, driving into houses, putting these guys in the dock. That's all you got to do. Right? It's not that hard. Skull says Victoria doesn't have enough cops. They actually have a shit ton of cops, man. Their biggest problem is they don't pay overtime. But, yeah. Chris Minns is stealing all the best cops. I don't know. They've got actually New South Wales is running out of cops. They've got a cop problem. What else are we covering today? Oh, I know. I'm making a major announcement. We want to start the National Antifa Terrorism Hotline. I think I put in the tweet the other day. Right? So we want to start gathering more examples of these guys so we can do something with it in the future. Because, you know, Brian and I have other stuff to do. Everyone's busy. But some of you guys are extremely online. So, you know, there's also a lot of the accounts. Like we know all the big ones, but there's a lot of little ones that retweet stuff. So, you know, if you follow us on Twitter, DM me any egregious examples of Antifa content. We're making a list. And maybe we'll send it to some friendly people in the State Department in the US and see if we can't get some Predator drone strikes happening. Ben says the Black Rose. No, we're not calling it that. We are specifically not calling it that after what happened in the Sydney Morning Herald. Yeah. So, anyone else got anything?
Sorry, my thing completely just like fucking died in the ass. Sometimes when this stream goes through, like, you know, I don't know why, but when this stream goes for like more than about an hour or so, it just completely nukes itself.
I feel like Drew would be the resident expert on how it works.
So you know how it has the totals on Twitter, like say 3,000 viewers. I think Skull mentions. Unfortunately, I think it is cumulative rather than live.
Yeah, I said that last time.
I wish we had 3,000 live viewers. It'd be so powerful if we had 3,000 live viewers. But
well, I'm going to tell people it's 3,000 live viewers. I always make sure I've got that when you do the cut and paste job. Yeah,
absolutely.
David Dimovsky says, "What are the thoughts on people checking out of politics? How do we remedy this?" I actually don't. I mean, look, I get that a lot of like Gen Zs and stuff are kind of checking out, and certainly I think a lot of boomers have checked out. But I think what we're seeing, maybe it's just cognitive bias from our end, but I'm actually seeing a lot of people getting engaged more than ever. You know, I mean, that thing I put up on Substack about the Project for the New Australian Right, I got 200 guys now. Assuming that everyone's not lying about how many friends they have. And if they are, then I've got about maybe 50 guys. But, you know, from a fairly poorly read Substack, to get a reaction like that from people who are just desperate to be involved in politics in some meaningful way that they can't get from any of the mainstream parties, kind of suggests to me that there's a shift on out there and people do want, people do want something different. We lost Brian. So I can't put chats on screen anymore. I don't know how to do that.
So how has your Substack been going, John? Like, what are the metrics like?
I only know how much money I've made off it, which is quite a bit. So, like a guy on like the first week paid $100. I've got like maybe 20 subs or something. I was shocked at just how much money you can make out of that. And so, originally, I just intended to just post kind of disparately, and I didn't want anyone to pay for it. I didn't know how it worked, so I just left the sub thing up, and then the subs just started rolling in. So I'm going to take it kind of seriously, I think, and at least try to put something up every week. And I'm giving thought to what I can put behind the paywall that people might actually pay for, which I don't know. It would be funny to do a series of like the truth about Bruce Lehrman posts and paywall, and just like stories about rogue shit that went on during that period. I think that could be funny.
Gerald Pym saying always monetize. I don't know. We have a weird feeling. We have a weird taste in our mouth about sort of monetizing everything that we do.
Yeah.
I hate doing it, to be honest. Kind of sucks.
Exactly.
Well, you've got Twitter now, which I guess is just passive income, right?
Kind of, but then I can't like just stop it because then I like lose significant amounts of income if I just won't delete my Twitter.
You have to keep posting.
You're stuck on the.
But you have to maintain the posting. Like you have to keep posting. You have to keep attracting new engagement. When it first came online, Dan Nolan actually spent a bit of time and effort figuring out how it worked. And like, so if you were just getting engagement from the same people over and over again, it's like it goes down on a scale over time. So it preferences new engagement. So I'm guessing that's why we see you beefing with new streamers.
Well, no, like, the funny thing is I actually don't know how it works. Like, so like last fortnight I had like 50 million views, and I like it was like my best fortnight in ages. But then the Twitter payment was like half of what it usually is. So it just fluctuates massively. I actually have no idea, but it's good. I'm glad that Elon bought the platform and put in place the payment system. Like it's good.
Well, it is one of the most important things that happen in right-wing politics probably ever, because we were all being shadow banned. If you talked about conservative political issues prior to Elon's purchase, then you could all the big accounts or the big right-wing accounts on Twitter got there via word of mouth from other sites. Because like if you wanted to follow Bronze Age Pervert on Twitter prior to Elon owning it, you had to physically type his name in to find his content and then follow him. And it wouldn't show up in your For You feed. It was only after they released all those controls that we all started finding each other. Like Brian and I wouldn't have met each other if it wasn't for that. Greyman asks, "Hey John, what's the current Misha Saul law?" He just bailed out of X, dude. He's
that's sad.
He's on, but he posts on Substack every day. Like you can read his stuff there. I can't blame him. Like if you're not, I mean, he's a guy who's kind of he's got some great political opinions, but I don't think he wants to get down in the weeds with politics. So like we are. In which case, I can kind of understand why he wants to be somewhere else. Anyway, his stuff on Substack's just as good. What else we got in the chat? I'm sure. I don't think it's far right rage bait.
What's far right about my opinions? Like I've literally got. I've got an entire explanation for why my politics shifted to the right. Like I literally was the victim of crime. I was extremely upset about how so many leftists mainstreamed like support for terrorism after October 7. I don't like rising levels of Islamic extremism. I also don't like mass demographic terraforming of Western countries. So I've literally got like an elucidated, fully explained system of thought explaining it. It's not just that like I just woke up one day and I was like, oh, Ian Miles Chong, I'm going to start posting like Europe has fallen and shit. That's not what I'm doing at all. I've literally got my own. I've got a full system of thought. I explained myself, and I write long like effort posts that are like 1,000 words long blog posts basically all the time. I explain my views very deep level, and also I had somebody today saying, "Oh, Drew, you're just a grifter. You just shifted right for money." Dude, early in the year when I wrote that MAGA Mouse thing, and it went really viral among like sort of like anti-Trump people in America. The Bulwark shared it. I could have made heaps of money as like an anti-Trump guy, but I literally don't base my politics off that stuff. Like I fucked over I would make more money as just like a Destiny orbiter, and instead I turned on Destiny. So like I just literally follow what I believe in.
Yeah, I mean, and like as Selena pointed out, you're not even, you're just a normie right winger. Like nothing you post would be that controversial.
Like the most controversial thing I say is that like why people shouldn't be made a minority in their own country. That's not even extreme at all. Though. That's a moderate position.
But they consider it extreme. Like when I did that interview with Paddy Manning for the ABC, I just frankly spoke about the Great Replacement, and he freaked out. He nearly turned the recorder off and said, "Oh shit, you can't say that. Now I'm going to have to ring up all these experts to refute the Great Replacement theory."
So Paddy Manning actually, John, Paddy Manning messaged me as well, and he said, "Do you want to be on the article?" I actually didn't really get back to him because I didn't necessarily want him to write an article where it's like Drew Pavel was the leader of the far right. That's not how I see myself at all. I'm like a moderate guy, so
Well, I don't think that's quite how he was framing it, but he was just desperate to get more people in there. Now, look, Green Goblin's been asking in the chat, New South Wales election, what's the plan over and over again? Dude, the plan is that you should run, Green, if you are in New South Wales. Just run as an independent for anything. That's what everyone should do. And I'm going to be up there in 2028 with as many right-wing independent candidates as we can find and as much money as we can grift from selling TLD T-shirts and Substack subscriptions. And we're just going to run in safe Liberal seats and see how well we do. That's the plan. Look, we're going to support Mark Latham, who's the best guy that's running. He'll be up again. Look, John Ruddock's really good, the Australia's most conservative libertarian. But that's the only solution for state government. The most important thing for state government is the platform. And the platform on state government is housing and energy. And on housing and energy, it is about responding to immigration and making sure that these guys don't get the easy run to flood the country with the 1.8 million migrants that are on Albo's, shopping list for the next 5 years. So that means, campaigning against higher densities, like, what they announced in, which suburb is it? The leafy one, Waverley. Campaigning against new coal-fired power or, any new, any new gas development that they want. Anything that is going to keep the gravy train on immigration going. That's the plan.
John, you know what's really interesting? I actually remember going back to 2022. I remember seeing, who was the last Liberal Premier? Name escapes me suddenly. And he had like 8
Gladys
kids.
Berejiklian?
The guy with 8 kids.
Oh, Dominic Perrottet. Yeah.
Oh, Perrottet. Sorry, my bad. I remember Perrottet literally saying, we want to bring in 2 million people in 4 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they were crazy for it, man. They were massively.
They were so open about it. They literally said that what they're going to do.
And did you check the receipts on how much money Harry Triguboff gave him?
I don't know, but they literally were so open about what they did. They were like, we're going to bring in 2 million people. And I remember looking at that and I was like, that's nuts. And then they did it. They actually just did it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, I remember going back to 2017 when we were talking about the housing crisis. That they, even back then, we were getting dispatches from like Alex Hawke in Canberra that they were planning this, that we were going to get swamped with migrants. And that's why the pressure was on to increase densities, increase the number of houses being built. This is pre-COVID. We knew about that. Nice. And we stepped up to the challenge in 2017. I think we built like 128,000 houses in New South Wales that year.
Well, we're second in the OECD for home construction. We actually build a lot of homes.
Yeah, we do. It's just like it's not enough to keep pace, and that's why the prices don't go down. But see, this is where the thing we've got to, and I will not capitulate on this, is being anti-YIMBY, or what used to be known as NIMBY. You have to go after what is effectively the raw material, the fuel for the immigration, for the mass immigration agenda, for the that's how they can keep doing it. They can't keep doing it if they can't have anywhere for them to live.
Exactly, and it's okay to say it's okay to say no, I don't want my fucking suburb turned into just another sea of dog boxes. Like I actually like having my suburb, as a nice communal area. So
community character.
Yeah. Exactly. I used to be YIMBY when I was younger until I realized that actually it's just that is the accelerationism for everything that we don't want.
I was the same. I was YIMBY pilled as well until I realized no, this is how they're doing it. This is the fuel for the machine.
Before the last 4 years as well. Now it's like full on replacement levels. it's been ramping up our whole lives. Like, it didn't used to be that a little bit of extra density was actually part of enabling, replacement strategy. A great replacement. Oh my God, I've said it.
When I'm going to find it, but Dr. Stephen Shavura's speech to Backpack. Hopefully, the guys, if the guys from Backpack are still in here, we have to get the video of that speech and put it up, because this is exactly what he talks about. He talks about like the cul-de-sac that he grew up in. He names all his neighbors, and that's kind of where the whole speech launches in. Is this is how Australians were meant to grow up. You were meant to live in a neighborhood where you knew everyone, which had cultural homogeneity, and that racial homogeneity was an outgrowth of that. So. Yeah, that speech I think is going to definitely
for the next stream. I'll figure out how to do it. We actually can play like clips from videos and then react and whatnot to it. So I'll do that for the next stream.
So Skull says Dr. Kaz is screaming. Why? Because I mentioned racial homogeneity. Has Dr. Kaz retweeted?
Dr. Kaz is going to go after Drew, because Drew said that Australia should remain a majority Australian.
Well,
has she retweeted?
Should be made a minority group. That's a normal view.
Well, not to. I would assume that to Dr. Kaz, that's not a normal view. So,
Dr. Kaz, I think, just hates white people for some reason. I don't know why.
You might be right. John, I think so too. But
I might be muddled, but I thought it was the author who spoke about his cul-de-sac in Kiama.
No, it was McKerney. It was McKerney. I think it was Stephen McKerney who started
McInerney.
McInerney, yeah.
Was it? Oh no, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah, it was him. Sorry, that was that one.
Well, let's get that actually post it later so people can watch it. It'll be good.
Wait, which one was? I thought he was talking about Kiama. Shavura is definitely grew up in. Oh no, you're right.
It was the other one.
It was McInerney.
He started. Yeah. It was actually pretty incredible because he started his speech by literally naming the 30 different families.
That's it. Yeah.
And I just thought it was actually legitimately an amazing feat of memory. It's actually incredible.
Adam says every suburb should look and feel like Battery Point. Yes, that is what we're going to achieve. Battery Point is a spectacular little part of Hobart with these old miners' cottages up behind Salamanca. I actually lived there in when would it be, 2002, 2003? It's around this roundabout, and there's actually a bunch of suburbs like that in and around Hobart. A few of them down in Moona too.
Yeah, one of my brothers lives down near there. It's like God's country.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what's sad?
Faye says we will turn all the suburbs into Zetland. Yeah, that's what we've got to start.
You know what's sad? I originally thought that the YIMBY thing was good because I do think there's an element to NIMBYism with boomers never wanting young people to ever have their own homes. It can be a selfish generational thing, but I now understand it is kind of straight up. The goal is to just have infinity migration. Unfortunately, that's what they're doing, and they will destroy a lot of this beautiful cultural heritage, I think, which is sad.
Yeah. Well, guys, we have I think we've been going for an hour, 2 hours. Green Goblin says, Brian and John start an email mailing list. I'm going to put on Twitter at some point this week the central clearinghouse for a lot of the emails I've been getting from the New Australian Right Substack list. And someone asked earlier too, have I got a Discord? I currently don't, because it just seems like too much effort, and I am old, and every 10 years older you are than these guys, it reduces the number of active social media accounts you can have by one, which is why I currently don't have Instagram. It's just too much effort, and also all my ex-girlfriends are on there. So I'm at kind of my social media limit, but it is becoming clearer Discord might be a good place for some of this stuff.
That's where Charlie Shooter got radicalized.
Yeah.
Discord.
And it would be funny if Cam Wilson then infiltrated my Discord. That would be hilarious.
Stream, guys. Yeah. Were there any consequences for Cam Wilson saying that Charlie Kirk should be murdered?
No. But that's.
I mean, he didn't say that technically. He just said, "Please come to my super secret Discord where you can talk about it." and say whatever you want about it, which was different, but still bad. Like, look, in the US, he would have lost his job, but we're not at that point here yet, unfortunately, but we will be. Schmilly says Discord is Antifa owned. I know, I spoke to them. The terrorist organization known as Antifa. Yeah. I don't know, is it? It is kind of funny that it's called Discord.
Piratical saying Drew geeked out. We should clip it.
Kind of extreme right wing.
What did I geek out in? How did I geek out?
We do Piratical. We do record these streams now, so if you find it, you can clip it and cap cut it if you think Drew geeked out. But
it's actually on my YouTube as well. I've got it on my YouTube.
We are gonna wrap up, I think, because we're coming in on 2 hours.
Yeah,
it has been a good stream, man. I can't believe Connor sort of. I mean, he didn't jump in.
Yeah, we got Connor in.
That was cool. Yeah, it was really cool. Smart guy.
MF Blonde keeps asking John, "Is it true that Drew said the N word?" It is true.
Just so
I heard it. Yeah, I did hear it. It was sub audible. It was like a backmasked one. Like, yeah.
These guys say that I'm black. These guys say that I'm not white. So I should be able to use it in rap songs.
Yeah, but he said it with love.
You know, will Snoop Dogg say the N-word at the grand final? I wonder.
At the AFL grand final.
Yeah. Who is? Rowan says, "Give us a tip for the grand final." You are a sports fanatic. I am not. I just had to know a lot about AFL for the Tasmanian election. I don't know, man. Who's even playing? Did the Lions win? I can't remember. The Lions.
I think it's the Lions, isn't it? Lions is in there. Brisbane.
Yeah, it's got to be the Lions. Lions. It's Cats and Lions. I'm going for the Lions, just because fuck Victoria. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just glad it's not Collingwood. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff, everybody.
Sweet.
Thank you guys. Another powerful stream.
Thank
you for jumping on.
Thank you guys.
Good as always. Skull.
Enoch.
I wanted to say
earlier.
I just want to say I disavow anything anyone else said in the stream. I can only be held responsible for what I said.
That's fine.
Yes.
Kaz will probably still hold you responsible for everyone else.
I wonder if Kaz gonna post Joel's thing about me that he just put up.
Maybe,
because we
should ask Kaz to join the stream one day. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah. She shared. She just like uncritically shares NSN every day. Like she's like, "Oh guys, Joel."
I know she loves those guys.
And she literally called
just in case. Yeah.
She literally had a post saying like Joel is like a smart, handsome young man, and then she like just like straight up goes like, "Oh, Joel has a new Telegram post, guys. Here's the tweet." He's just like obsessed.
Well, I reckon there's a Substack piece in how all the so-called far right experts are actually secretly in love with. They all have like a favorite NSN guy. Like, I reckon there's
Kaz
she's like the Wolverine meme, just looking at a photo of Thomas Sewell and sort of slowly stroking it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's mental.
Thanks everyone for jumping on stream.
I was upset that Kaz didn't call me smart. She said Hugo Ospill is smart. She said Joel Davis is smart. She said John McGowan's smart. No smart.
When did she say I was smart? I think she said I was smart. I remember.
She said you were smart. I'll have to look back at it.
You just need to up your game, mate. You need to up your game.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah.
You're gonna have to start looks maxing.
Yeah, maxing. That's so true.
Grow your hair long, dude. Just grow it all out.
Do the Chechen beard like Joel. Do the Chechen beard.
The Chechen beard.
It's true. It literally looks like a jihadist. It's like a jihadist Chechen beard.
So I just said, "All hail Dr. Kaz." I reckon so. This week we're starting TLD. I also want to see a lot of hail Kaz in the timeline. Next time she posts something, just go in. I'm going to put it in all the juice chats and just say hail Kaz every time she.
No, I disavow. Thanks, lads. Thanks, everybody.
We don't disavow TLD. So
yeah, TLD is happening. It's going on the t-shirts. All right, see you, Patriot.
All right, see you guys.
TLD. See you, Patriots.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.